Hello, Targar friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And today was Max Effort Bench Press Day. Quick reminder, those of you who like these videos, please click like down below if you watch them. We're not having very good participation rate with that, and the dislike bots are outpacing the likes, so please help. Now, today, I only got one bench on camera. It was one of those to where the first heavy single I did, I struggled with the lockout a little bit. It was hard to lock it. Tricep weakness there. I didn't feel like tricep weakness, but realistically, that's tricep weakness. And that was it for today. I mean, what do we do on Max Effort Day? We take it to a challenging single. Well, that happened to be the first heavy one I did on camera. And I was kind of surprised. And I actually went and put another 10 pounds on after and just unracked it to see how it felt. And it felt really heavy at the lockout, pressing it out of the J-hooks. So I really have to evaluate the supplemental work, right? Because I came in today, my incline press with the football bar, I hit a PR again. I added 5 more pounds, did 5 by 10. Last set was hard, right? The last rep was hard, but I hit a PR. Yeah, I'm PRing my supplemental work. I had to say, okay, this supplemental work, I think my chest and delts are coming up, upper chest especially. But it's not carrying over to the bench the way I'd like. And the reason I say that, I've messed with other chain work, close grip, all through December, right? And I got towards the end of December, and I went over and looked, and I hit 10 pounds more bar weight and 10 pounds more chain weight with a fast lockout on a close grip. It wasn't slow, right? End of December. Last week of December. Wasn't slow at all. So I went back after even doing these because I'm like, I PR'd these. Why was that weak? And I went back and looked at what my training logs looked like. Floor press, floor press, floor press. Triceps. I had done a bunch of JM presses, some skull crushers. I spent quite a bit of time doing JM presses. But triceps were real strong at the lockout. They were real strong. So what does that tell us? That'll work the floor press. But I've also gone through some extensive stuff with my shoulders bothering me. I have that under control. So I feel like it's time to bring some medium or close grip floor press back in. Okay. It was doing a really good job for me. Not necessarily with this football bar, and I like the football bar. Hey, I think this is a great muscle builder. But I feel like this is making my overhead press go up more than it is my bench. Okay. What makes my close grip seem to go up like that? It was coming along really good. It was coming along really good at that point. The close grip was, and I messed around with some other wide grip and stuff, right? Okay. Medium and close grip floor presses. And I'd been doing them with both. I did a straight bar for a while, then I did the axle bar. All right. It was working. I had done a bunch of JM presses, and I had been doing some skull crushers. You know, again, I've had some different issues trying to make the JM press work. Keep the tendonitis and things away, but I feel like my tendons are now healthy. I have my shoulder healthy, and I'm doing daily work for my shoulders, like prehab type stuff. They feel good. Let's start returning to the stuff that works. Now, am I going to keep a press day? And you bet. Am I going to keep overhead pressing? You bet. I need the shoulder and upper chest development, but it's like, the floor press and the overhead press will give me all the upper chest. Do I really need an incline right now? People might say, well, you might look better. Well, probably. In fact, I feel like all of that's filling out. But it could fill out by getting stronger on both of those lifts. And this just isn't carrying over to the benching. The floor pressing was when I was really, really hitting it hard. Okay, I was getting carry over to my close grip bench. And I was doing all that tricep work. My lockout, I went back and checked on the 26th. Look on December the 26th. I had 77 pounds of chains with more weight on the bar. And I just popped it through the lockout. Flat-footed, close grip. Okay. I need to go back to what I was doing there. Keep my shoulders and my tendons healthy. Keep going, because the weaknesses I'm seeing would be corrected with that, wouldn't they? But again, we got a PR on the incline today. We hit a 5-pound PR for 5x10. We get over to the press, the axle bar press, 137.5. I've got a fractional plate. 4 sets of 10, then I cranked out 11 on the last one. Okay, this is coming along fine. So what I really need to do, focus on floor pressing, focus on overhead pressing, and triceps. And obviously all my face pulls, keep my delts good. I can build delts off of overhead press and face pulls. That's where I need the incline. Go back to the floor pressing. I know it works based on my own training. And that's what we have to look at, guys. We've got to look at these different lifts and realize when I take certain lifts out and we see some regression happening, we know those are my bread and butter lifts. What got me to a lot of what I've been doing at the end of the year, right? Because that was at the end of the year, strongest closer grip I've done, which I need to keep building on. Same thing, just like I've had to assess my squats, I've had to assess my deadlifts with the good mornings. Good mornings are not optional. They're not optional for me. I'm starting to think the floor press isn't optional for me. Box squats might not be optional. Man, do I get strong off box squats. Man, do I get strong off good mornings. And you know, the floor press was starting to work. My bench was starting to come up. It makes sense. But it was the combination of the tricep work. So, what do we got to do? Floor press and triceps. Now, obviously I want to get the overhead press strong. But you know what? My overhead pressing will keep getting strong from just doing all this axle bar work and stuff. Right? Standing press with the axle bar for a lot of reps. Just micro load it up with sets of 10s or a hair more. Keep going with it. Work on my triceps more because that seems to be my weak link on overhead pressing too. Okay. But I got to bring up them triceps. So I decided to work some JM floor presses back in today. And I feel like looking at it, I feel like the form was reasonably good, but I can afford to go a hair lighter to turn it into a little bit more of an extension, which you guys will see it coming up at this last set of presses, axle bar presses. And I got 11. So again, that's what we have to look at. If I'm PRing my main supplemental lift and the lifts aren't going up, we got a problem. It's like I realized the hip thrust and glute bridges were not working for me anymore because I'm PRing both of them and not getting PRs on the big lifts. Seeing mild regression happen. All right, we got to go back to the stuff that was working for me. And I think that's the case here. You know, I feel like that incline press, I feel, honestly, I don't know, you guys could assess. You tell me, does my upper chest and all that look bigger? I don't know. I feel like it's working really hard, and I'm getting stronger and stronger at it, but I'm not seeing particularly the closed grip bench carryover. So, JM press, I feel like I could drop 10 or 20 pounds off this next time and really focus on maintaining an even better technique on it. I did like 13s, maybe then 12 for the 4 set. I only got about 9 reps on the last set. Did get kind of the triceps where I wanted them in terms of feeling that medial head really light up, but only on some of the sets. So it's one of those where I'm going to have to, again, kind of get the technique kind of dialed in perfect again. Make it work. But I feel like, because I had done quite a bit of JM pressing leading up into some of that close grip work, that probably will carry over quite well for me for close grip benching, for maxes. Right? It will carry over for me. I do need to get it dialed in. It needs to be like that first rep there. Those first couple reps, those are really good on that set. And then after that, some of it, maybe I'm going a hair too hard because, see, it's hard for me to do that right there. That extension you see right at the bottom. I really need to get more of that. And 95 pounds is probably just a hair too heavy for me to do that. So you know what? I can reduce the weight to get the tension where I want it because I'm not getting so fatigued through the set. Okay. If what we really want, we don't want the elbows to dip down. You want to keep those elbows at a slight flare, about 45 degrees. You don't want them to go low. You want to keep those elbows up a bit as you come down, just at the top of the chest. And then you turn it into an extension towards the face and then come up. That's like our ideal, you know, like that right there. Maybe back just a hair more. So yeah. But so I feel like I need to go a little bit lighter to do that. And that's okay because it's going to put the tension where we want it and really hammer those triceps. You know, we're hammering them with still what's technically a multi-joint movement. Right? It's still technically a multi-joint movement. It's not really a single joint exercise. But again, when I got the reps right, I really felt those triceps the way I want them. And again, there's plenty of world-class level bench pressers who swear by this exercise. So again, and I like it, it's just sometimes getting the technique dialed in where I want it. So in my case, I'm going to have to reduce the weight. But moving forward, I'm going to have to keep this more simple. It's basically going to have to be floor pressing. You know what? I got different bars I can rotate through. Overhead pressing. And then triceps. And I've got to pick these tricep exercises that are going to really, really give me a better bench. Because at the end of the day, my bench has been my weakest lift. It needs to be a high priority. And I mean, it's literally at the point, if people will calculate my max bench versus my other lifts, I actually have to put 50 pounds on my bench press or 60 pounds onto my bench press for it to be considered equal to my squat and deadlift in terms of advancement. Like if it were to be the same level, I've got to put 50 or 60 pounds on it. That's how much better I am at squatting and deadlifting. And you know what? We're only as good as our weakest link. You know, and I could argue at people and laugh at people who can't squat or deadlift much, who have a strong upper body, you know, because that is ridiculous. But you know what? I have to judge myself by that same standard. Great at squatting and deadlifting. And some people already pointed out, yes, technically my deadlift is the elite at this point. I'm pretty dang good at overhead pressing. And the bench is lagging. I mean, I've just got to build everything up. And it really, because I know I'm always going to be a better close gripper, I've got to put meat on these triceps. And the floor press does help with that too. It's just the floor press seems to build my chest and stuff in a way that carries over to my benching better. And then obviously we got to do these face pulls because we have to build the delts. We have to keep everything healthy. And this again helps balance the delts a lot because of all the pressing work I'm doing. We have to work the posterior and the medial head. We really need the rotator cuff work, but I actually do rotator cuff work separate. So, you know, people are wondering what I do. It's not really that fancy. It's like, I don't know that it's worth me trying to show it because I do it when I'm not even awake. Like I lay down and do all my stuff laying down on my bench, all my different shoulder movements with little tiny 5-pound plates. It's what I do first thing in the morning. And it's kind of like, sometimes I do it before I film any videos. And I'm sipping on my first cup of coffee after I answer client questions. I lay down and mess with all of it. And it just gets my shoulders all loosened up. It gets my shoulders moving. I don't know that it's anything that fancy. It's basically just a case of, you know, when you lay down on a bench and you take a little bitty pair of 5-pound plates and you just rotate your rotator cuffs with your arms out at the side with your elbows at 90 degrees. You know, you start with them up in the air like on a bench almost, except that your elbows are bent. And you just rotate them back to where they're parallel with your neck and then turn them back up. And then I do some to where I lay there and lay my head off the bench. And then I start with the plates with my arms extended up above my chest, and I just rotate my arms towards my head until they're as far back as they'll go, and I let the little plates with my arms locked. So technically my hands are overhead, but I'm laying down. Right? So it just looks like a straight arm pullover hanging off of a bench. And it kind of pulls a little bit of my T-spine into place, and it just pulls my arms up a bit. So that's what I'm doing to help with my range of motion, because I can't actually lock my arms when I'm at a narrow grip overhead. And it's because my shoulders won't rotate that far. So I use little 5-pound plates to stretch them every morning in that position. And so people say, well, why don't you lock the arm in the overhead press? Well, I can if I do a snatch grip. But it's at my shoulder, when I'm at shoulder width, it just, my actual arm doesn't go up that high because of the shoulder position. You know, it is what it is. And I've always been that way. It's not something that developed in my 40s or 30s. And it's not like I haven't done plenty of overhead work and stretch work and dead hang pull-ups and chin-ups and things to stretch it. It just is what it is. possibly just my shoulder structure. But I work on it because maybe it'll improve, right? Maybe it'll improve, and shoulder health work is always good. But today was a valuable learning day, so we're just going to keep moving upward and onward. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.